in Salem at the state capitol on top of the dome, you may notice a 23-foot statue. It's the Oregon Pioneer. It is cast in bronze, finished in gold leaf, and even though it's hollow, it weighs 8.5 tons. Welcome everybody to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Ken Ackerman. Well, there are 9 freshman legislators who are trying to bring a fresh perspective to this year's session. Please welcome one of them, Jason Conger, representative from Bend. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Ken.
Fresh perspective, has that gone away? I mean, in the few short weeks you've been here, are you still fresh?
It's only a week and a half, since we really started. So no, not yet. I'll wait and see. The jury's still out, but no, I think every freshman brings a little bit of a fresh perspective because we don't know what to expect. We don't know really where the pitfalls are, so sometimes you step out a little bit and take a risk, not even knowing it's a risk.
There are 9 of you.
Speaking of risk, by the way, I'm glad to say that the statue is not right above us right now. I was thinking about that, 8.5 tons.
In a building that doesn't meet seismic code.
Yes.
We remember that.
I do remember every day.
Being a freshman legislator, there are 9 of you, and you've developed somewhat of a fraternity. What is the biggest eye-opening event thing that has happened with you?
Well, there were 2 I mentioned. One's kind of a good thing, and that was when I came for the opening day, getting sworn in, and watching the governor get inaugurated in the chamber below us here. Mm-hmm. I really felt a sense of gravity, of seriousness, and it kind of felt like stepping into the flow of Oregon's history. Mm-hmm. And that was a real privilege for me. It felt very good.
And the other one you were telling me was when you carried your first bill.
Yes, I also had the great experience of carrying my first bill to the floor. That was earlier this week. And I'm glad to say, probably due to my amazing persuasive powers, it passed unanimously.
Tell me about the bill.
Actually, I'm being sarcastic. All of the bills that are coming now are pretty non-controversial. They move through committee quickly.
You didn't have to tell us that.
Well, just in case.
What was the bill?
The bill was House Bill 2240, and it has the effect of eliminating a sunset on a provision that allows tipped workers, of which there are tipped food and beverage service workers, of which there are about 20,000 in the state of Oregon, to opt out of the mandatory 30-minute meal period that's in Oregon employment law.
Because it cuts into their tips.
Because it can really cut into their tips, because if they have to take the mandatory period, it could be during their busiest time of the day. And if you imagine being a waiter or a waitress, and you've gone and you've given really good service and earned your gratuity right about the time you take your meal period, and then someone else has to come in and get your tips, essentially. And just to sort of frame the significance of the issue to some of these folks, these are working class people. They're probably earning about minimum wage, maybe a little bit more, but that's $8.50 an hour. But their tips can actually do account on average for more than $10 per hour. Mm-hmm. So they're actually making more in tips than they're making in hourly wage.
Sure.
So it's very important for them to be able to earn that.
You're on the Business and Labor Committee, and you're talking about PERS reform, and we've been talking about PERS reform since the beginning of time. What is on the table now?
There's a few things. There's several bills, so it depends on which bills end up getting a hearing. But some of the reform options that appear possible to move are eliminating what's called the 6% pickup, which is where the government picks up the 6% employee contribution to their retirement account. So most state workers do not contribute that 6% currently, because over time it's been negotiated away in collective bargaining agreements. And so the idea would be to push that responsibility back onto the employee off of the state. Another is to ask state employees who have retired and moved out of state, usually to go to a lower income tax area, to reduce their PERS benefit by the amount that they would have paid in Oregon taxes if they continue to live here.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jason Conger. We wish you the best in your endeavor, and thank you very much for joining us on Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Ken Ackerman. Make it a great day.